What's up, family? So glad you all have joined us tonight for Popcorn Conversations, where we're tackling some of those tough questions one pop at a time. And we just want to say thank you all for continuing to actually show up, being a part of our discussion, and the chat lines are always lighting up, which I think is absolutely incredible. So thank you so much for being engaged and sharing your perspectives on the topics that we are handling here. It's interesting for me that when I go out now, it's crazy that people are saying, "Man, I saw you guys on Tuesday night. Love the couples that you all have on there. Love the topics that you all are discussing because
Mm.
they're extremely relevant to us in our relationship." And one thing that's pleasantly surprising to me that there are people who are not married that are actually watching and coming up to me saying, "Hey, I saw that popcorn conversation
Mm-hmm.
and it was very relevant or exciting for us to actually start having these kind of discussions before we get married." Or I'm going to tell somebody else about this discussion. So go out and watch the replay. So thank you all for being just such loyal viewers and followers, as well as commenting in the chat, right?
Absolutely. Well, you know what today is?
It's
Timeless Tuesday. You know what? Timeless Tuesday happens to be popcorn conversations where we are tackling the big questions that pop up in relationships, one pop at a time. And so tonight's topic, it is going to be a good one. Juicy, juicy, juicy.
Yeah, so we're talking about boundaries in your relationship. Like, why do we need them? What they look like, how they keep the love healthy and not restrictive. So we really want to get into this boundaries conversation. And that was a stem from last week when we were
Yes,
talking.
yes, yes. So we want to ask you a question. Are you protecting your marriage
Hmm.
with boundaries? I mean, they're not just boundaries, they got to be clear boundaries.
That's right.
Are you just letting things like slide and then you let it explode? Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that. Now, before you start rolling your eyes, or assume that the boundaries are like they're like rules and they put up these walls. No, they're not. Boundaries aren't meant to be like controlling, right?
Right.
They're meant to be bring clarity in your relationship.
But they also, boundaries, I believe, actually brings peace, and then they protect you,
Yes.
and they actually help you in honoring your covenant as well. So those boundary conversations that we have, I think, are going to be extremely timely,
Yes.
especially in the world in which we live now, and how couples are looking at their relationships.
So tonight,
Yes.
we got three incredible couples that are on this channel with us tonight talking about boundaries. I mean, we're going to go deep tonight, you all. So we want to introduce our couples tonight. Our co-host for Popcorn Conversations. We're going to introduce the one and only Jones from Black Diamond Marriages. Let's give it up for them. Welcome, Kevin and Jocelyn.
What's up, people? My family.
Glad to have you all on. Yeah, you know they be tearing it up over there, so watch out. And then we also have with us tonight, we have Dr. J and we have Reverend B. But we have the Robinsons are in with us today to help us discover and talk about boundaries. Welcome, Robinson.
What's up, Robinson?
And not only do we have somebody who's been in our lives for a long time, very long time. In fact, they were one of the first group couples that had went through our Master for Marriage experience back in, I'm not going to say a long time ago. It's been a long time. We just want to.
Well, no, they've known us for over 30 years because I'm just now remembering that they knew us when Cameron was like a baby at that point. So, and Cameron is over 30 at this point. So we've known them for over 30 years.
Yeah, and I actually have known. I went to Victoria and I went to
So
same
you
high
know
school,
them
so
for
we
longer than that.
yeah we go way back. We got nicknames that way we go way back. But let's welcome the pastors Alvin and Victoria Parker from True Word Christian
What's
Center.
up, family?
Oh, yeah,
Family.
Hello, hello.
glad to have you all here. We want everyone to go do what? They got to grab their popcorn.
You got to grab your popcorn. You got to grab your popcorn. Get ready to start having
It's
this.
almost gone though.
It is.
We online now. You're supposed to eat it now.
Right.
Yes.
And I would say if you're actually on tonight, just put something in the chat or just give us a word that you're there. And we want you to be participating in this conversation tonight regarding boundaries.
Yes. So let's just start with some basics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to put that out for the couples. And I think through this question, it will probably give us a definition once we ask this question. So when you hear the word boundaries in marriage, what comes to mind as a couple? I'm going to go down to the Robinsons. When you hear boundaries in marriage, what comes to mind as a couple?
For me, I think what comes to mind is protection. So that's the word that comes to mind. And then it's, boundaries in marriage, like around the marriage, and also boundaries like within the marriage that kind of makes the love authentic, if you will.
I agree. I think boundaries are protective. So boundaries are sometimes to protect what's inside, and then also they're intended to keep harmful things on the outside. So when I think boundaries, I think the same thing: protection.
Protection. Yes. And we all want protection in our relationship. And so thank you all for sharing that.
Let's go with the Joneses. Y'all walk us through some boundaries.
Yeah, so I pulled up a definition. Boundaries are limit individuals set in a relationship to define acceptable behavior and protect their well-being. So I see boundaries as a sense of expectations and trust.
Okay.
Whoa.
That's good.
Expectations
And trust. I like
Yeah, and
it.
that just came to me right off the top of my tongue. I didn't have
Oh,
it.
wow.
I love it.
Oh, you so deep.
Whatever.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, Parkers, what do you guys think with boundaries?
When I hear the word boundaries, I think of an understanding from a couple's perspective on how we're going to behave. How we're gonna
Yeah. Yes.
I like to add to that. That's how we're going to interact with each other and how we're going to interact with others outside of our marriage and communicating those expectations of what is acceptable and what we won't tolerate.
So when you said communicating with communicating those boundaries, are you talking about communicating with each other or communicating with other people? Where does that communication extend to?
It's both. It's communicating. When we communicate with each other what those expectations are, our behavior and our actions towards one another will communicate to those outside the marriage what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. We'll say it verbally if we have to, but normally our interaction with one another, how we respond to certain things, our actions are communicating. We won't talk to others. We won't tolerate this.
So then your first line of setting boundaries is actually with one another.
Absolutely.
Right. And so you all, it sounds like that you all have actually had that conversation regarding what your boundaries are in the relationship and how you all show up.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
it's constantly communicating.
Constantly.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Give me that. Give me one boundary that you all have set for your relationship. And the Robinsons and Joneses, I'm going to ask you all the same question.
Mhm.
So, what's one boundary that you all have set for yourselves?
We handle all our family issues in house. They are not discussed with anybody else outside of the marriage, other than our pastor, if it goes that far. But it hasn't. It's never gone that far because we let the word settle the indifferences. But if I got an issue with her, it's going to her and God, nobody else.
Wow. Okay. So that's one. Joneses, what do you all have?
Go ahead.
What do we have together?
Okay, well, we have together. I know one. I was going to give her a chance. I'm surprised you don't have nothing to say. Um,
Look on his face.
She is watching her boundaries right now.
Right.
Okay, so our boundary when it comes to finances, our boundaries, I think we had talked about on one of the other sessions, is that if we plan to spend or make a major purchase, the boundary is that we don't do that. We have to come together and, like Alvin stated, have that conversation and come together as a couple to talk about it and make a decision which way we're going to go.
Yeah, I love that.
Mhm.
Good. Robinsons.
We have a boundary when it comes to when we get to an impasse and we have a marital conflict that we need to solve. We are intentional about going to people who have more fruit on the tree in terms of relationship than we do. So they have to be wiser. They have to be more. They have to have conquered that area, which kind of really narrows down our people that we can talk to.
Yeah.
Probably to about 2 people, and they're probably on this call right now. So that was Mark the perfect man. For the end of that man is peace. So we're intentional about that.
Say that last part you said again, because that was good.
The Bible says, "Mark the perfect man or the mature person. For the end of that man is peace." So we don't take our marital stress and distress to people who aren't married, for example, or people who aren't married longer or don't have their fruit on the tree.
Come on. Jackie, you were going to say something?
I think in that boundary is another kind of rule goal that we set for ourselves, which is we always have wise counsel, and we call our wise counsel, and that being you guys, and y'all being our marriage mentors, people whose opinions we trust and respect. So I think that's a boundary for us as a couple too. Just we will not go through life without guidance.
Yes. I love that. I think for us, one of the boundaries that we've actually set is that we won't allow our parents to become a part of our, if we have marital issues or we're going through challenging, we want to just make sure, just based on the relationship that we have with our parents, we're respecting them. But we want to make sure that they are in a good place with both of us. And there's no biases coming in there. So for the last 34 years, we've never had any kind of conversations with them about any challenges that we may have had at this point.
For one, we know that it wouldn't be safe and it wouldn't stay there. For one, that was one thing. It would actually be in the community before we probably even got back home. I'm just saying. And then the second one is, again, because they have this picture in their mind. Once you come to them, and they will always pretty much remember that, even if you've moved on. And I realized, Jocelyn, I think we talked about this before, because her mother was in a space of she was a prophetess. So she saw things beyond, and she, in the spiritual context, she felt safe and so did Calvin, to be able to trust her wise counsel. And when it came to, our families, that would not have been the case. And that's why we decided, because you got to see that fruit. And some of that fruit was on the ground, okay, and it wasn't fresh.
So I would love to know for each one of you all, has there ever been a time? Oh, no. So let's start there. So we started with that one boundary there. I want to go to this next set of boundaries because kids can cross boundaries, family members can cross boundaries.
Sure.
So, what does that look like for you all establishing the appropriate set of boundaries for your kids and for your families? Because I have seen where kids become a part of the main conversation in situations or challenges that are with their and they may not have the spiritual maturity to handle that, or you bring them into a space when you're trying to get back at your spouse, which is not appropriate at this point, and then bringing other family members in that may not. I'm not saying you shouldn't bring family members in, just like the Robinson said, they have to be wise, merit longer, have fruit. But if they don't have them, you're bringing them in when they may not have a clear biblical marital perspective in this case. So can either one of y'all give us an example of what kind of boundaries are you setting for your children and for family members?
For the children within the family, and then for the family members outside of the family?
That's correct.
Okay. I guess we'll start. The most immediate thing that came up when you guys were talking about for the children inside of the family was a conversation I had with my youngest two. So, kids express themselves. They want to look cool. My 16-year-old asked me when he was about 10, he wanted to get his ears pierced. I said, no, you got to wait until you're 16. And he has a different type of personality than my youngest son. So he was like, okay, now he's 16. He's like, Dad, can I get my ears pierced? Okay, yeah, you can go get your ears pierced. So we take him to go get his ears pierced. And my daughter wants to get her nose pierced. And I said, no, you got to wait till you're 16. She's like 13. And so she didn't just like go along with it and be like, okay, I'll wait until I'm 16. She's like, why? But you didn't give me an explanation why. She's just going back and forth. And then my nine-year-old, his ears pierced. And I'm like, you got to wait till you're 16. And they just like, it's like as they get younger and younger, they get more indignant and like try to fight the power. So my wife basically, she's like, well, we don't want to fight that battle at first. And then like, well,
I think I was like, it's a nose ring. Like, she can get a nose ring. It's not a big deal. And you said she cannot get a nose ring because I said she not. I said no,
not. So, but her credit, it was like she just kind of took it. She still didn't necessarily understand why. And she was like, well, I mean, Raymond, that's your dad, and whatever he said goes. And it just kind of it quelled the mutiny, if you will.
So I think what he's getting at is the boundary with the kids is more like your dad and I are on the same team, though we may disagree about the principles, and we often disagree about principles. Like we are very vastly different, right? And so the kids know, though. I think you should be able to get a nose ring, but your daddy said no, so it's no. And so that is one boundary we set with our kids, is that if the answer is no for one of us, the answer is no for both.
That's good. That's good. And thank you for backing him up in that space too, like that. So that they will play you. Children will play you. Alvin and Victoria, walk through children or extended family members. Those boundaries.
Well, ours was pretty unique because Matt didn't grow up in the house with us, so I had to establish both with him and his mom where she stands in the relationship. She comes first. And so you don't cross that.
Victoria comes first.
Victoria comes first. I love you, but you don't cross that line. No one does. And my family knows that. I had to tell my dad that too. When he was living with us, he was saying some things, and I was like, you crossed the line. And I won't have that. Not in my house. So I'm very I don't pull any punches. I don't sugarcoat anything when it comes
to your relationship with.
When it comes to my relationship with my wife, everybody knows it's clear. I'm not mean about it, but I am direct. I'm not mixing any words whatsoever, and I'm not a confrontational person. But I will confront you about that. And so it's just a matter of communicating clearly, not being mean, just saying this. I won't take this conversation about any negative conversation about my wife, period. I had somebody with high school that was in high school. I was at a ball game and they said something about the wife being the old ball and chain. And I just real quickly with a straight face said, don't you ever refer to my wife that way.
Come on.
You are joking.
That's good.
So people know with me when it comes to her, don't cross the line.
Of the marriage, because of the great counseling that we had,
Yes.
we were able to understand the order of how God set the family. It's
Right.
him, it's my relationship with him, his relationship with him, our relationship with each other, and everything else comes after that. Children, mama, dad, cousins, everything else comes after that. And so everybody that's in relationship with us, that is in close relationship with us, they understand that. My stepson understood that if I wanted to choose first, I got to choose first. That's just the order. Now, I didn't do that, of course, but he understood it and he respected it. And he would, even when we would be on those travels going back and forth to get him, we'd be talking and bantering and doing whatever. He'd be in the backseat just cracking up. And we're like, what you laughing at? He said, y'all are funny. But he understood the relationship and he understood the order because we made sure to establish that at the beginning of the marriage with the entire family.
Wow.
Because if mommy and daddy is in trouble, the whole family's in trouble. So you got to take care of that relationship first. It's like on the airplane when they tell you when the oxygen masks come out, what do they say?
Put yours on
Put your mask on first. Right. Because if you pass out, what the kid gonna do?
That's right. That's right. I like it.
The enemy attacks the head when he wants to disperse anything, a family, a church, a business, whatever. Where does he go after? He goes after the head.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, think about it. If anybody's catching a snake and they want to kill the snake, they cut the head off. They don't cut the tail off because the snake can steal. Exactly. So they cut that head off first. So Joneses, what do you guys have as far as kids and extended family boundaries?
Pretty much the same thing that's already been spoken. Like it took us, we said it, but it took a while for people to realize it and accept it and actually accept it.
What did when you said we said it? What did you say that it took them a while to get it?
Well, I remember Calvin actually literally had to come out of his mouth and say, "She's my wife. She comes first." He had to say that to the kids and to his family because it was like they weren't getting it. And even after saying that, it was still a lot of times where things would pop up or whatever, and he would be like, "But that's my wife. So no, that we're not gonna do this," or "No, we're not gonna allow that," or if not just me, it's we.
Right.
So yeah, we can pretty much echo the same thing.
But I think a lot of it is because people don't understand the order that God has set in place with a family. You're not in a good local church where they're teaching you these things, and and this is being reinforced to where you can hear it, your family members, your children, whoever can hear it. Then they don't understand. They don't understand. How can she get a pair of shoes before he get a pair of shoes?
Because that's your kids
every day.
That's good. And I want to just speak to the importance of community as well, because when you come from like families of origins that don't understand God's order or the value of covenant, things like asserting boundaries can seem like just like crazy or out of the box.
Right.
With us, we had some early experiences, like when we had to put someone out of our home, or we said we weren't allowed people to stay with us while we're still working on ourselves. Those are some external boundaries, but some of the internal boundaries, the boundaries around like parents and around in-laws, I think what gives perspective in that, because both of us come from families that don't have healthy, biblically based marriages. And it comes from embracing communities like this and exposing ourselves to a healthy biblical paradigm of what does it look like to protect your marriage and to be able to assert, so that, you know, you think that you feel valid in your emotions, you know, but the word says there's a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof is death. So when you come to your counsel and they say, nah, B, you tripping, like you need to do it this way. You're like, okay, now I know they can't be tripping because they have the fruit on the tree. So now I got to reevaluate all my presuppositions and my assumptions to say, okay, let me embrace what's producing fruit, even if it's uncomfortable. So I think community is really important for the viewers who might be watching, saying, okay, I'm not sure what covenant means and what, you know, the Parkers have phenomenal pre-marriage counseling. Maybe they don't have access to that, but they do probably have access to a voice or a community that will uphold the standard of God in their lives.
Yes.
That's really good. That's very good. I think for us, for me, I had to learn the boundaries when we first got married, because I was so into my family at that point and assisting and helping my family. So when I took on my wife, I knew she was my wife and I knew she had come first. I'm saying it, but my actions have to follow what I say as well. Right? So I was like, yeah, she's first, but well, they need some money. Let me help them. Let me think about co-signing for them. Let me do all. And she was like, no. Sorry.
That scripture about being surety for another man, didn't you?
Right. She's like, no, that's not what we do. This is our house now. And I was like, yeah, you are right. So let me have that hard conversation with my family to know that we have to be in agreement before we do anything regarding finances or relationships or anything like that, to make sure that we're on the same page. But growing into that and then being consistent and disciplined in our actions. So now, based on our lifestyles and how we live, no one in our family questions our boundaries.
That's so good.
Because they've seen the fruit of and they've seen how we upheld those boundaries. We haven't been wishy-washy. We haven't been unreliable or anything. It's like, no, we've set the standard and we've been at that standard for so long that they know when they come to us, they know what they're going to get.
Right. You know, when you said we need to come into agreement before we do certain things. One of the things I wanted to mention too, as a married couple, is a way to keep your marriage safe is not make it seem like I can't do this because my spouse doesn't want to do it. So when you're having a conversation with someone outside the house, you still have to protect it. It was like, no, we're not doing that right now.
Right.
You know, because they'll say, well, I know you want to do it, but you know, it's Alvin. Alvin won't let you do it. You know,
that part.
And so that's why, you know, that's part of the setting of the boundaries, is making sure when you're communicating with people outside the marriage, they understand that this is a mutual decision.
Because you're protecting your spouse, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Carlos, even sometimes I have told her, you know, when it's been sensitive issues, difficult things, I say, I can shoulder it. Just put it on me. Because I realize it may take the relationship with a family member and a sibling in a way that they just don't understand it right now.
Yes.
So rather than be upset with me than to be upset with her until the air can clear and get more clarity. And
they can think right about it.
And they can think right about it because the decision we both agreed on is so emotional to them. I would just tell her, hey, just put it on me. Put it on me. My shoulders can handle it. I can handle all of it. And that's what
sometimes he'll just be like, I'll call him.
I'll call him.
Don't worry about it. Let me call him. I have a conversation.
I got this, right?
That was something that we learned. And you spoke to that. I was about to just say that, Victoria. That was something that we learned that had to be put in place as a boundary, because when the answer came back to no, it appeared that I think it would be like, let me talk to Catherine first. And then when you go back and say no, then Catherine.
It was that woman you married.
Yeah.
Like if he wasn't married to Catherine, we'd be able to do this.
Right.
And so we had to learn that boundary. Like now, when we discuss, it's not, it's something we have to discuss. It's not about, well, let me just talk to Catherine about it. And so that was as we became, you can say, this is my wife, this is what we come first. But the minute you say that, there's going to be this challenge that comes to your way to test you to see, is she going to be first? Are you going to stick to the boundaries that you talked about? And then there's also going to be times that you learn, this is a place we need to put a boundary. Because you don't know that in the beginning that's what that's going to look
along the way.
Yes,
Right, exactly.
Yes. Alvin, you were going to say something?
Could I encourage the people, because of some that Reverend Brandon said that was so important. For those of you out there that may say, well, I didn't have this counselor, I don't have any, there are resources out there. In every city, God has a local church, a pastor, a believer, someone you could talk to that'll bring light and revelation to what we're doing. Because as people hear these conversations, there's a common theme here. We learned these things. They didn't fall on us like ripe cherries off a tree. It took time to learn them. Someone had to teach us. And we learned those things in the local church. And I am clearly aware that there are people out there who don't teach things. I am clearly aware that there are people out there who abuse their authority in those positions, but there are still good local churches out there. It's the order of God for us to learn those things. And I would just encourage people who are listening to look for that. Certainly, the Holy Spirit will lead you to a place that you can learn these things. They are available. Still you might feel tired. You might feel like, I don't want to look. Eventually you're going to have to trust someone.
Yeah. I like that. I
think the biggest piece of that is it is your desire, your hunger, and your want to. It's like you want to learn how to play chess, you want to learn how to play tennis. If you want your marriage to be richer, then learn. Go out. We're in an age now where if you're hungry enough for something, you'll find the counselor, the pastor, the teacher. You'll find somebody that has what it is. And so I don't. That's why I don't really. It's like I don't have resources. Yes, there are. Just like
there are resources. And when you look,
whether or not you want to buy that 1972 Chevelle or whatever, you do all that research to figure out. You can do the same kind of thing. For your marriage.
I love that. So we talked about the boundaries between each other. We talked about the boundaries within the family and the extended family, what that looks like. Now, here's going to be a real sensitive one that Catherine came up with that I thought was amazing. I want to start off with the Joneses on this. What's your boundaries that you're establishing with people of the opposite sex?
Just man, don't touch.
Okay. So Joneses, what does that look like for you all, and how you all establish boundaries and how you move in that space when it comes to people of the opposite sex?
So I think for us, we both trust each other. And my thing has always been, if whoever I'm with, whether it's Calvin or anybody I've ever been with, if they're gonna be with me, they're gonna be with me. And if they not, that's on them. They ain't got nothing to do with me. And so, when it comes to people of the opposite sex, there are certain people that I know that's, got their eye on Calvin, got little crushes on Calvin, or whatever. But
Calvin.
it does not bother me. It doesn't intimidate me, because I know that he knows what he's supposed to do as a husband. I know he's not going to be all up in their face, flirting and and this and that. And if that's what they do to him, he know how to back back away. I've seen him do it. It's hilarious. But he knows how to back away. And I think the only difference is he's a little more polite in how he kind of puts people in their place. So it might take them a while before they get and understand that that's what he's actually doing. So he might have to like do it. But with me, I'm like, Ninja, go on somewhere. So we both, I think, and I think it's because we trust each other. I've heard people say, like he'll be somewhere and he'll say, "Oh, he'll go out to lunch with a coworker of his," and I've been in the car with somebody else, and talking, and they'll be like, after we hang up the phone, they'll be like, it don't bother you that he out to lunch with his coworker?" We're like, no, especially if she's gonna pay for it. That's keeping money in my pocket. So, but we have established with each other trust.
Yeah.
And if something does go lopsided when I'm not present or when he's not present, we also trust each other enough to know that, hey, let me tell you what happened. This is what happened. And then, okay, so how did you respond? And this is how I respond. And then we got to know, okay, so now we have to set an additional boundary for this person because they tried to cross what was already set. So now we know, okay, so since she did that, guess what? We ain't going to lunch with her no more.
So one of the biggest things, Jocelyn definitely hit the nail on the head, the nail on the head. Yeah, something like that. For me, those boundaries is if they don't respect the marriage that I'm in, if I don't deal with them. So if they don't respect the marriage and the covenant that we have together, I don't deal with that person of the opposite sex. They have to respect that marriage, that covenant that we have together. And so because for me, every skirt ain't for the good.
Come on.
Yeah.
Say that one more time.
Every skirt is not for the good. I said ain't for the good. I'm gonna go ghetto. Every skirt ain't for the good.
I like that.
So if they don't respect that and they don't respect the boundaries of that, you have to cut it off. You can't associate with them. I don't have serious meetings with people. A pastor told me this. Don't have serious meetings with someone without others being present. With the opposite sex, with others being present. I actually got in trouble in the military because I had a meeting with a young lady. I wasn't even married. She wasn't married, but I was her senior, and things came out. Some legal stuff came out, and I learned the lesson. Don't be as much as you try to help someone, and you think you helping them in their career or their
or their
marriage or relationship, or whatever. It becomes taboo because everybody doesn't have the right motive.
That's right. I agree with you there. Yeah. Robinsons, what are you guys thinking?
So I wanted to just big ups my wife because a lot of the stuff that came with setting boundaries, I watched how she moved because she's like really, really honest to the point where it's like it can be somebody asks for her number at the gas station, she'll come home immediately and be like, "Oh, this man asked my number at the gas station," and I ain't give it to him. So that kind of set the stage. And I know for me, I cut off all my female friends before marriage, any personal female friends that I had, unless they were already friends of the couple. But I saw how she would move in a workspace, and I wanted to tell a story about that because there was a gentleman that she worked with who wasn't accustomed to people setting boundaries. And he was like, dude worked out. He probably had like multiple work wives or whatnot. And she's super professional, but he comes up behind her randomly This isn't a one-time experience. Like she's done this multiple times. But he comes up behind her, grabs her from behind.
I was sitting in a chair. And he comes behind the chair
against her cheek, and just freely. And this is in a workplace environment, like in the hospital. And she got up and said, "Get the off of me." She was like, "I don't like all that. I don't want your skin on my skin. What's wrong with you?" And he got shook to the point where he's like apologizing for the rest of the time she worked there, trying to keep her from going to HR. It was just, I'm gonna address it. I'm gonna address it. I don't care who's watching. Anybody around you who got the idea, they're gonna know I'm addressing it so that it doesn't happen again. And from that point forward, it was just mutual respect.
I was clear, so I didn't need to. I didn't need HR there. So I just feel like there's, this is my body. Like this is my body. Like I can say hi to you at work, but it's my body. So there's there's a clear boundary there that I don't listen. I don't like all that. I don't play like that. I'm married. Like don't. That's I know y'all do that around here. I don't.
Right.
I work in hospitals. So people who work in hospitals understand like hospitals can be breeding ground for infidelity.
Wow.
Look, that's not just hospitals. That happens in corporate America too.
Hey, Jess, go ahead, Victoria.
That happened in the churches too.
That part too.
Yes, it does.
And I had another one about my husband, his boundaries with a peer of mine who, like, Brandon's like a brother to most people. And so, like, to most women, he's like big brother Brandon, who all the women ask for advice about their dating relationships and their husbands, right? So I had a friend who would reach, and in all honesty, this is not me making excuses. I think she genuinely doesn't understand appropriate boundaries, right? And so anyway, that friend kind of would reach out to Brandon via text message in weird ways, right? That's what I can say, weird ways. What Brandon would do is he would respond. He wouldn't respond. And initially I was like, you can respond, just respond. Don't be, rude. Brandon's like, nah, I can see where this is going. And he would respond in a group thread. So he would not respond there, and he would put me, her, him, or me, her, him, and her husband in a group thread, and then respond.
Take a screenshot, put it in a group thread, and be like, hey, so-and-so, I got your message. Here's my response. And later on, it came up that she actually was like, you and your husband tell each other everything.
Tell each other everything.
Yes. Wow. Listen, if more people would just say no in the beginning, if you just say, I don't do that, I don't play with my marriage, I don't play like that. Right. More people would do that instead of welcoming it. It's just kind of sometimes people like, that feels kind of good to show interest. But if you stop it, it really shocks people when you do that.
Yeah, it does. And I think that too, pulling the covers off of things before they happen, like that's really what he meant by I'm honest. Like I just think that secretive things are where people get in trouble. Yeah. Right? It's the little secretive things, just a little thing. Then it's another little thing. Then it's another little thing. There's another little thing. And then all of a sudden, those little things have led to inevitable sin or infidelity or something major that is going to destroy lives. Right. So I just, hey, bro asked for my number. I ain't give it to him. But he was cute. All right. You should know this. And we share those things, and it actually brings us closer. So I think that helps us to continue to set the right boundaries with the opposite sex, but it also builds our own intimacy.
I love it.
And kind of on the flip side, a little bit of that, like we both know fine when we see it. He know a fine woman when he see it. I know a fine woman when I see it. I know a fine man when I see it. Same thing. Yeah. But because we have that trust for each other, we know each other. I can see another man and be like, you are so handsome. Like this suit you got on, you are really rocking this suit. and they'll be looking like, well, thank you. And he'll be standing beside me and they'll be like, you okay with that? He'll be like, man, she thought you looked good in your suit. Because it's not, I'm not flirting. I'm
Right.
giving them
You
a
just
compliment.
paying
I'm
a
paying them
compliment.
I gotta tell y'all this one right quick. This is too funny. So y'all know we live in DC, by DC area. So during the summertime, they have at the Marine Corps have eighth and I at the parade Friday nights.
You gotta tell everybody.
I'm gonna tell that one. So she loves a man in uniform, right?
Yeah.
So one of my prior COs, he had moved to the eighth and I at Marine Corps barracks. So he was decked out in his dress blues. So I'm standing to his left. Then Jocelyn is standing to my right. And then a naval officer came up in his dress whites.
Yes, God.
And Jocelyn went up to him like this. You look so good in that white uniform.
He did.
He's sitting there like, yes, ma'am. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. He didn't know what I'm standing right there.
Oh my gosh. He did. What made it so bad, it's like he was Asian, so he had like that nice cut jawline, and then a little bit of this, and it was all of it was just it was all godly aligned, and I was just amazed at the wonders of the Lord.
So the funny part about it, Ape and
I cannot.
Your uniform isn't just tailored; it is tailored.
Yes.
So everybody at Ape and I, they do special stuff to their uniforms that you can't do it anywhere else in the military.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so even another one, a quick one. We were at the Australian Open. I'm not going to say the name, but this person came out. I didn't have to say nothing. It was a female. And Carlos, I can't say the name. No, people don't.
Oh, we know.
And Jocelyn was like, said, good Lord. I ain't have to say a word. I was thinking, good Lord. When she said, good Lord. So
everybody, let's just say everybody's not there in their relationship.
Right.
We want to say to our viewers, you gotta know your mate.
Exactly. We
Right.
know each other. So if we're somewhere, or even if he's out by himself and he says to another woman, like if we was to see y'all, I think he's even said to you, Catherine, that Eusebia, he was like, girl, you wearing that dress.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't trying to flirt with you because he's trying to get in the dress with you.
Right.
That's his way of complimenting. But because we know each other and we trust each other, I don't get all twisted out of shape about that and be like, why you say that to her? You saying it all in public in front of everybody, and then everybody, where you going now? You going somewhere to find Catherine? Is that where you going? It's not. We don't do that because we know each other and we understand each other.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that. So this is what did you want to say something? Right? I wanted to ask the Parkers, because in the last few minutes that we actually have, I wanted to go to boundaries in the Bible from a biblical standpoint. What does that look like? Because people will say, okay, we've established boundaries, but you also need to anchor your boundaries, your relationship in the Word. And I know that the Robinsons and Jones may have some as well, but I wanted to just start with the Parkers. Like, what does that look like with establishing boundaries according to the Word?
I'll start with the point where we're talking about the opposite sex. Romans 13:14 says, but put ye on the Lord Jesus Christ and make no provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof.
Yes.
I have policy.
13:14.
Romans 13, chapter 13, verse 14.
Got it.
I have a policy that my whole church know it. I'm not meeting with you for any reason without my wife, your female. I'm not riding in the car with no female by myself that's not my wife or my sister or my mama. I don't even get on the elevator with a female by myself that I don't know.
Wow.
And I learned that because I try to stay away from the appearance of anything like that because here's the thing: I could be innocent, but if people make the thing, you're judging public opinion. The damage is already done, and the devil don't play fair.
Yeah.
So I just cut it off at the head. So if I see you on the side of the road, you're female, I call the police to help you. I'm not putting you in my car. I'm just not.
Yeah.
I don't. We were in a hotel in Lexington, Kentucky, and we was taking my niece to the guy, and there was a brother in there. He was about 6'6", and this female got on the elevator, and he was getting ready to get on, and she was getting on. I said, "Ma'am, you go ahead." He sat back and waited on me because he was like, I'm about to find out what's going on. And then we got on the elevator together. I said, "Man, I never get on the elevator with a female by myself because it's her word against mine. I'm not gonna get the benefit of the doubt."
Well, that's what happened with the in Oklahoma. That's what started those riots in Oklahoma.
It happened to Billy Graham too.
When he got on that elevator with that woman, and she accused him of trying to hit on her or rape her. So that's literally was the ignite for the Tulsa.
Oh, was it?
The Tulsa massacre. That's exactly what happened. He got on that elevator with her, and she accused him of actually approaching her.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And we don't do it with children either.
No, we don't do it with children.
If we're in a hotel, we're at a meeting somewhere, and some parents are phenomenal for letting their kids run around at the pool and go back up to the room and all of that. And we see kids like that. We don't get on the elevator. We let them go on up.
Let them go on up.
And then we get on after the fact.
You don't even leave me in the sanctuary by myself with a female.
No.
Yeah.
I tell people that. I said, you do not leave me in the sanctuary with a female by myself.
And it's the same way for me. It's like we had a special meeting this week, and he had dropped me off because he went to pick up our guest. And the guy that does the sound, he pulled up and he opened the door and he said, "Pastor, is anybody in here with you?" And I said, "No." I said, "But you come in." He said, "No, ma'am, I'll just wait." He went back and got in his car until another female came to the church. And then other females came, then he came in. And they all know that. They know that. So if he's out of town, the other women know we need to get there early. We need to be there when Pastor gets there because Pastor Alvin's not here. And she doesn't need to be in the church by herself with anything.
Yeah, that's great.
That's how we all have always, set boundaries.
And some people say, "Man, that's a little extreme." No, for us, it's safe. I mean, my pastor was so strict on his staff. He said, "If I catch you in an office with a door closed, with somebody of the opposite sex that's not your spouse or your family, you are fired immediately, no questions asked."
That's safe.
Yeah, this is a way to protect our marriages. Yes,
to protect, because the Bible tells us you have to be vigilant. Because the devil is like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. He can't devour anybody he wants to. He's looking to see who has the guard down.
Come on.
And the guard down could be conversations you have with people. The guard can be how you approach people. And it there was just mentioned, I tell people all the time, you don't go blind because you got married. There'll still be good looking people out there. But you gotta monitor what you look at and what you think about, because that's where it all starts. That's where it gets planted. I know that thing and talking about that when the opportunity presents itself. That is the next step. You have to set boundaries.
So I know that in my corporate world, leading teams, and I have to have my one-on-ones. I'm very, very careful about how I have my one-on-ones with females. Right, like one-on-one, I would actually have in an open room where anybody can walk in at any time.
See,
another one Yeah,
Glass.
I would have to do that. Another one, I would have it in where if we are in a room, it actually has a window.
Yeah.
And so anybody can look in and out,
So,
but I
yeah.
was very careful about, like, I'm not going to go in a room where I'm closing the door and no one can see in and I can't see out. I never wanted to be in a position like that. And anytime that I would even have a conversation with any lady, or even if I'm meeting them for the first time, one of the first things that's going to come out of my mouth is about my wife. It'll be something, because I'm going to set the tone that, oh, you should meet my wife.
Yeah.
Because you kind of the way you move there, you kind of reminded me of her. She's such a great woman. Oh, your hair is like her. I would do something to where they know that I am married, I'm happily married, and they should meet her, not just me. So I don't want anything like that. So
I just want to encourage our listeners out there that you've heard some examples of boundaries. You've heard our stories of how we have set boundaries. And I think it's very critical that you sit with your spouse and talk about those boundaries. Don't let them sneak up on you, and be very adamant about your relationship and about your marriage, so that you can put those protection strategies in place, using the word of God and using your voice. Because as you heard Alvin say, he's coming like a lion, he's not coming like a little cat. So you can sit on my lap. Come on. No, you don't want that to enter in. You want to be very adamant about that. And so we want to encourage our listeners, take some time and talk with your significant other and talk about those boundaries and what they look like. They're not to be able to put you in chains. They actually are freeing if you talk about those. I do want to share one boundary that in my line of business, where I had to go out to lunch with my boss sometimes, and he was a male, and he would always call his wife on the phone and just say, I'm out to lunch with Catherine. I just wanted you to know, because people could take pictures and then they put it on the internet, and then all of a sudden now you got a rumor going. And so I thought that was very admirable of him and what they had established. So there are various ideas and ways that you can set boundaries in your relationship, and I want to encourage you to do that. It is so crucial for us to put those in place.
Well, thank you all for being on tonight and listening to us. And if you're watching the replay, I hope something has been said or done to help your marriage and your relationship out. Again, continue to put those comments in there, because we would love to hear what you think, or read what you think about this particular conversation that we're having regarding establishing boundaries. Right?
Yeah, we want to encourage you to subscribe. Tell another couple about talking about these issues or topics that come up in our relationship, and we hope that this is helping you, because it certainly is helping us. We have an after show when we shut down, and we talk about how it has blessed us as we've been able to have these conversations. So subscribe to our channel, Power Couples Rock. You can always go to Black Diamond Marriages, as well as True Word Christian Church and Center. And Carlos always gets me on that center. True Word Christian Center. They have great messages out there that you can listen to. You can join them online. And we want to always thank Dr. Jackie Robinson and Reverend Brandon Robinson for joining us on Popcorn Conversations. Always popping things up. Now, I heard we may go back to the popcorn machine and pull some popcorn questions out of there. So we'll see. And it's just like free for all. We don't even know what it's going to be. So
you ready to pull one, y'all?
Oh my God.
For next week.
Pull one for next week.
Pull one for next week, Carlos. Pull the one that was good.
Y'all believe we're already about to be in August?
I know. Oh my goodness. What is the
Oh, I think we've done this.
I think we've done that. We're talking about money.
Okay. This is pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
This is good. The question is, how do you define a thriving marriage?
Wow.
How do you define a thriving marriage.
Ooh.
Carlos
talk
and
about
Captain Green.
Yeah.
Done.
How do you
Done.
define
Next question.
thriving marriage?
How do you
Not
Next week.
surviving, but
Not
thriving.
surviving,
But
but thriving.
thriving. Yes. Ooh.
I love that.
We're gonna give you
That's
some
a good
tools.
one.
Gonna be a great discussion.
Ooh.
Until we see you again, we want everyone to get
Powered
powered
up.
up.
Yes.
I need some music, Ed. Powered up.